Hello, everyone. Welcome in this lecture series on software engineering fundamentals. And this is Dr. Bright Keswani, Professor in Computer Science and Engineering in Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. In today's lecture, we will discuss about software testing techniques and strategies. Uh, these are the learning objectives of uh, this lecture and expected outcomes of this lecture. Testing is the process of ensure the quality of the software. Therefore, uh, through this lecture, you will also learn the general introduction about the software quality assurance and how one can adopt the best quality assurance techniques for his or her software project. These are the two basic learning objectives of this lecture. And the second thing is learning outcomes. So after the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand about software testing and its aims, understand the term bug, what is bug actually, and its various types and reasons behind occurrence of bugs in the software system, and what are the various principles of software testing. After the completion of this lecture, you have uh, sufficient knowledge of uh, you will have some sufficient knowledge of these topics. These are the contents of this lecture. uh, Introduction about the software testing techniques and strategies. Then we will have an idea about software testing, then software testing and software lifecycle. We will learn about software lifecycle, uh, what are the objectives of software testing, and software bug, what is software bug and what its characteristics, and what are the various types of bugs present in the system. Then we will discuss about the reasons for system bug, why it appear, and then after we will discuss about principles of software testing and software testability. So, software testing is the process of executing a program with the intention of finding errors in the code, and it is the process of exercising or evaluating a system or system components by manually or automatically, means to verify that to specify specified requirements or to identify differences between expected and actual results. So we can say that identification of the difference between the expected and actual results, we can call it, is the purpose of testing. So the objectives of testing is to show uh, incorrectness, and testing is considered to succeed when an error is detected. What is error? An error is a conceptual mistake made by either the programmer or the designer, or a discrepancy between a computed value and a theoretically corrected value. A fault is a specified manifestation of an error, and error may be the cause of several faults. So, a failure is the ability of a system or component to perform its required functions within the specified limits. Failure may be produced when a fault is executed or exercised. So, testing should not be distinct phases in system development, but should be applicable throughout the design, development, and maintenance phases. uh, Process of executing software is a controlled manner in order to answer the questions: does the software behaves as specified, is the you can say the definition of testing. uh, there are many published definitions of software testing. but this is the appropriate definition of software testing. The testing is concerned with or association with two terms. First is validation and second is verification. Validation basically is the checking or testing of items, including software, for confirmation and consistency with an associate specifications. And software testing is just one kind of verification, which also uses techniques such as reviews, such as analysis and inspections and walkthroughs. So verification is the process, we can say, it is a process of evaluating each phase end product to ensure consistency with the end product of the previous phase. And what is validation? Validation is the process of testing software or a specification to ensure that it matches user requirements or not. Okay, so in nutshell, we can say that verification means what? What we doing the right? Are we doing the right job? And verification means what? Are we doing the job right? Okay, the term bug is used to refer to a problem or fault in a computer, and there are several software and hardware bugs uh, we are facing daily in our uh, software when we are executing the software. Software testing should not be confused with debugging. So debugging is the process of analyzing and locating bugs when software does not behave as expected. Okay, so we are intended to we are making software uh, for as per the client needs, and we have a proper plan with us to make a software, but sometimes some bugs are there, some errors are there. So debugging is the process of analyzing and locating the bugs when software does not behave as expected. Okay, uh, now come to the next topic, which is testing and software lifecycle. Is a very important topic, and this figure suggested, this illustration uh, suggests that if you carry an error, uh, you can increase the software development cost. So at the time of detection of error, you can you should you should revise your program, or you should remove the error at that phase only. Otherwise it will uh, make a major cost regarding hurdle. Okay, so testing should be through a very impressive manner, is providing a quality software. Testing should be thought of as an integral part of the software process, and an activity that must be carried out throughout the life cycle. And each phase of the test software life cycle has a distinct end product, such as software requirement specification document is there, program unit design is there, and program unit code is there. So each end product can be checked for confirmation with a previous page and against the original requirements. So errors can be detected so that error can be detected at each phase of development. So testing is must, validation and verification is must, and it is the integral part of software lifecycle. And software testing is the part of verification and validation associated with evaluating and analyzing program code, and it is one of the two most expensive stages within the software lifecycle. You can consider it as a very expensive stage of SDLC, and the other being is maintenance. So there are two expensive activities in the software lifecycle. First is testing, and second is maintenance. Okay, so testing and fixing can be done at any stage of the life cycle, software development life cycle. The cost of finding and fixing errors increases uh, dramatically as development progresses. So, changing a requirement document during the first review is inexpensive. It costs more than a requirement change after the code has been written. The code must be rewritten. So, bugs fix are much cheaper when programmers find their own errors. Fixing an error before releasing a program is much cheaper than sending new disks or even a technician to each customer site to fix it earlier. Okay, and this is the illustration. There is a proper illustration of the uh, related cost of fixing bugs based on the time of detection. In this illustration, you can easily see that at the earlier stages you find the error. When you find the error, you should remove error at that stage only. If you carry the error, the size of error is increasing towards the final stage, and the cost is also increasing. You are removing, suppose in the initial phase you find an error, and you are intended to remove that error in that phase only. You will cost say rupees 500, but at the if you carry the error, same error, till the end of the project, then you should pay, maybe you should pay rupees 5,000 for the same removal of the same error. Okay, so this is the proper illustration of uh, related the cost of to fix bugs based on the time of detection. There are several stages, phases, you can say, in the software development life cycle, and testing is required in all these phases. First is requirement. In the requirement uh, phase, requirements must be reviewed with the client, and rapid prototyping can refine requirements and accommodate changing requirements. Secondly, specification. So the specification document must be checked for feasibility, traceability, and completeness, and the absence of contradictions and ambiguity. And specification reviews are especially effective, like walkthrough and inspections is very much effective in this manner. The next software development activity is designing, and the designing activity, testing is also required. Design reviews are similar to specification reviews but more technical, and the design must be checked for logic related faults, interface related faults, and lack of expectation handling and non confirmation of a specification. So you can check the logic fault when designing the process, interface related faults when designing the process, designing the project, software project, and lack of acceptation handling. Acceptation handling is very much important, and non-confirmation of a specification are also important. When you are doing the design phase, you should uh, focus on these testing of these all issues. Okay, then implementation related, implementation. During the implementation phase, closed code modules are uh, informally tested by the programmer while they are being implemented. So disk checking and other methods, you can uh, through them you can check the implementation part, and thereafter formal testing of modules is done methodologically by a testing team. And this formal testing can include non-execution based methods, okay, and execution based methods like code inspection and walkthrough, and black box testing and white box testing. So during the implementation of the code, during the implementation phase, you have to test the process. Now we are coming to the integration part, integration phase. And the SDLC suggests the integration of modules. So integration testing is performed to ensure that the modules combine together correctly to achieve a product that meets its specifications. So particular care must be given to the interfaces between modules. Okay, so appropriate order of combination must be determined, like top-down approach or bottom-up approach, or combination of both approaches. When you are testing the product, which is very important, product testing is important. The functionality of the product as a whole is checked against its specifications. Test cases are derived directly from the specification documents, and the product is also tested for robustness, means for error handling capabilities and stress testing. So all resource code and documentation are checked for completeness and consistency during the product testing phase. Acceptance testing is also required because, after all, we are creating the software for our client. The software is delivered to the client who tested the software on the actual hardware using actual data instead of test data. And a product cannot be considered to satisfy its specification until it has passed an accurate acceptance test. So shrink wrapped and beta testing is the form of acceptance testing, and we can do perform such type of testing as a acceptance testing. In the maintenance phase, the modified version of the original product must be tested to ensure that changes must been correctly implemented. So maintenance during the maintenance testing is again used. The product must be tested against previous test cases to ensure that no uh, adverse changes have been introduced. So this is also considered as regression testing. So during the maintenance phase of the SDLC, you can take the testing process. Then come to the next point, that is software process management. In that phase also, when you are going to manage the software, testing is another method for which is very much important, and this will help you to predict the cost and duration of the project. If left unchecked, errors can be increased, and it will cost it will make your cost very make your project very costly. Okay. These are some stages, and why testing is needed in these phases. I elaborated. uh, Next, come to the objectives of the testing. There are mainly three objectives of software testing. First is software quality improvement. Second is verification and validation, and third is software reliability estimation. So now we will discuss the software quality improvement first. Uh, as computers and softwares are used in critical applications, the outcome of a bug uh, can be served, and bugs can cause huge losses. And bugs in critical system have caused like aeroplane crashes. Uh, they allow space shuttle mission to go um, far beyond the targets, and they halted trading on the stock market, and several worst effects they introduced. So bugs can kill and cause disasters. So the so-called year in 2000, we can say a bug present, Y2K bug could have resulted into more screeching halt on the first day of the century. And Software quality means what? Software quality means the confirmation or conformance to the specified software design requirements being correct. The minimum requirement of quality means performing as required under specified circumstances. Okay, so software quality improvement is very much needed, and it is uh, we can improve the software quality through the software testing only. So there are several quality parameters like readability, correctness, reliability, and many more, testability. Uh, so software testing, the main objective of software testing to make your software to increase the quality of your software. And the second objective is verification and validation, which I earlier elaborated. uh, the software quality cannot be tested directly, but the related factors to make quality visible can be tested. So quality has three set of factors mainly. First is functionality, second is engineering, and third is adaptability. So we can say there are some quality factors like correctness, reliability, usability, integrity, and efficiency, testability, documentation, structure, flexibility, reusability, and maintainability are some quality features. And through the verification and validation process, we can ensure the quality of the software system. Now come to the next part, which is a software reliability estimation. Software reliability has important relation with many aspects of software, including the structure and the amount of testing it has been subject to. So the objective of testing is to discover the residual design errors before delivering to the customer. The failure data during the testing processes are taken down in order to estimate the software reliability. The testing process may function with regular feedback from the reliability analysis to the testers and designers uh, uh, based on an operational profile. Okay, so testing can serve as a statistical sampling method to gain failure data for system reliability estimation. So you can estimate the reliability of your system through the testing process. So these are the three major objectives of software testing. First is software quality improvement. You can improve the quality of the software. Secondly, verification and validation process is there to improve the quality of software. There are several parameters I elaborated earlier. And the software reliability estimation, you can measure the you can estimate the level of reliability of the software through the software estimation method. Now, come to the next part of this lecture, that is very much important: software bug, its characteristics, and types. So, there are certain characteristics I elaborated, I defined the software bug earlier, and now uh, what is what are the characteristics of software bug we will discuss. Uh, the symptom and the cause of a bug may exist geographically remote from each other. So we can characterize the software bug in several um, methods. The symptoms may be caused by human errors that is not easily traced. uh, the symptoms may be a result of timing problems rather than processing problems. The symptoms may disappear temporarily, maybe when another error is corrected, uh, and the symptoms may actually be caused by non-errors, uh, and it may be difficult to accurately reproduce input conditions. For example, a real-time application in which input ordering is intermediate. The symptoms may be due to causes that are distributed across a number of tasks running on different processors. So these are some characteristics of bugs. These are some reasons of bugs, and the symptoms may be interminated. So this is particularly common in embedded systems that couple hardware and software. So these are the characteristics of software bug, and there are some uh, errors. There are some several types of errors or bugs in software or program. Some important type of error or bugs I have listed here, like syntax error is there, logic or algorithmic error is there, documentation error may be there, capacity error may be there, hardware error may be there, timing and coordination error may be there, computation and precision error may be there, stress and overload error may be there, throughput and performance related error, recovery error, and standard procedures and tools related error is there. So let us discuss all the errors one by one. First is syntax error. These are generally caught by compiler. So compiler caught the syntax error. Logical or algorithmic error. These error occur due to branching too soon or branching too late, or these two branching errors are often associated with off by one errors, and testing the wrong condition is the cause of this logic type error. Initialization, sometimes we are not initializing the error, or forgetting to test for a particular condition sometimes, then such type of error will occur. That when sometimes data type mismatch uh, uh, mismatch is there, so such type of error is occurred. Incorrect formula or computation is the cause of logic or algorithmic errors. Okay, now come to the second type of error, which is third type of error, which is a documentation error. These occurs due to mismatch between documentation and the code, and these errors lead to difficulties, especially during maintenance. So these are another important errors, type of errors. Next is capacity errors, and these errors are due to system performance of degradation at capacity. So capacity related errors is related to the performance hurdle in the execution or in the software project. Hardware related errors. Hardware related errors are like sometimes hardware got fail, and hardware not responding properly. So hardware related problems are very common. Timing and uh, coordination related errors. These errors are mainly found in real time systems, and these errors deal with process coordination and are very difficult to find and correct these errors. Um, Computation and precision errors, and these errors are caused due to rounding or truncation issues, and while dealing with real numbers and conversions. The next type of error is stress overload error. These errors are caused when user or devices capacities are exceeded. For example, buffer size is exceeded. Okay. uh, Next is throughput or performance related errors, and these errors come across due to throughput or performance degradation. For example, response time degradation. Okay. Uh, Next error is recovery error. These are error handling faults actually. So these errors are frequently occurred. Last one is standard errors related to the standards and procedures. These do not cause error in and of themselves, but rather create an environment where errors are created or introduced as the system is tested and modified. So these are some types of various types of errors. Now come to the next thing, why these errors came in existence. What are the reasons for software bugs? These are the main reasons for of software bugs. First is miscommunication or no communication. Second is software complexity. Third is programming errors. Fourth is changing requirements. Fifth is time pressures. And sixth is egos. And seven is poorly documented code. In the miscommunication or no communication, as to specifies of what an application should be, should or shouldn't do, the application's requirements are uh, very much important. So miscommunication, when some miscommunication or no communication held between user and sorry, between client and the developer, then such types of bugs, software bugs, may appear. Second is software complexity. Uh, it is another big error. The complexity of current software applications can be difficult to comprehend for anyone without experience in modern day software development, because in modern days we are adopting various different type of languages, different types of tools and technologies to make softwares. So if we have no idea about the or very less idea about the complexity of the software, we will introduce the knowingly or unknowingly we are introducing the software bugs. Secondly, Windows types interfaces of client server and distributed applications, data communication, or discrepancy in relational databases and size of applications have communication, all contributes to the potential growth in software complexity. So use of client server technology, use of networking, advanced networking, use of various tools and advanced techniques will increase the uh, increase the complexity or introduce the complexity, more complexity in the software system. So uh, this is the software complexity. Due to the software complexity, the software bugs came in existence. Then sometimes programming errors are there. Programmers, like anyone else, can make mistakes. So uh, there are some programming related errors are also there. So that can cause the uh, that is a major reason of software bug. Next one is changing requirements, because we are living in the modern society. We are living in the modern technological world. So client is changing their requirement frequently. So changing requirement sometimes uh, the customer may not understand the effects of changes, or may understand and request them anyway, redesign or rescheduling of engineers, or effect on other projects work already completed that may have to be redone or thrown out. Hardware requirements may be that may be affected, are the reasons for software bug, due to changing requirement of client, or due to the changing requirement of technological requirements. If there are many minor changes or any major changes are there, known and unknown dependencies are there in the project, or interaction related problem is there, or complexity related problem is there due to the changing environment, they may reason for software bugs. So these are the some reasons of software bugs. Then come to the time pressures. Scheduling is the main part of planning. So if when we are doing work in a very fast manner, or we have to complete our work within the time given time boundaries, so it is sometimes it is difficult to work under a certain time pressure. So time pressure is a major cause of major reason of uh, the introduction of software bugs. Okay, so next is the egos. People prefer to say things like no problem, piece of cake, I can whip that out in a few hours. Okay, so there are some personal egos that are realistic. Okay, but they produces bugs in the software. Overconfidence sometimes produces uh, bugs uh, in the software project. Okay, lastly, the poorly documented code is the reason for software bug. The maintenance of software is very much important, and if there is a no documentation available about the maintenance, or the poorly designed, poorly written document is available uh, for the um, software project, it is very much difficult to resolve or maintain the problem, or resolve the problem, or maintain the software system. So there should be a properly documented code should be there. Many organization management provides no incentive for programmers to document their code, or write clear understandable code. So it is approaching or adoption of a poor programming practice is a major cause of software bug. Okay, sometimes software development tools plays a major role in software bug, like visual tools, class libraries, or compilers, or scripting tools. They often they introduce their uh, own bugs, or are poorly documented, resulting in adding bugs. So when you are using some um, bugs in the software, when you are using some problems, when you are associating your when you are documenting your system in a better manner, you should you should plan your testing procedure. Okay, so these are the reasons for software bug. Now come to the last thing, that is principles of software testing. Software testing is a critical component of the software engineering process, as I earlier said, and it is an uh, element of software quality assurance, and can be uh, described as a process of running a program in such a manner as to uncover any error. And this process, while seen by one as tedious, tiresome, the unnecessary, plays a vital role in software development. So, the process of software testing involves creating test cases to break the system. But before these can be designed, a few principles have to be observed. What are these principles? The first principle is testing should be based on user requirements, and this is in the order to uncover any defects that might cause the program or system to fail to meet the client's requirement. So the first principle of software testing is that testing should be based on user, as per the user requirements. Secondly, testing time and resources are limited. Avoid redundant testing. So, because testing time is limited, because our resources are limited, so you should avoid the testing again and again. The third principle is it is impossible to test everything. Yes, it is impossible to test everything. So plan your test accordingly. Don't waste time in repeating the testing process again and again. The next principle is use effective resources to test. This represents use of the most suitable tools, procedures, and individuals to conduct the tests. The test team should use tools that they are confident and familiar with. So, testing procedures should be clearly defined, and testing professionals may be a technical group of people independent of the developer. The next principle is test planning should be done early. And this is because test planning can begin independently of coding as soon as the client requirements are set. The next principle of testing is recommended principle of test software testing is test for invalid and unexpected input conditions as well as valid conditions. It means you have to test all for all conditions, all input conditions, and all valid or invalid conditions. Whether the condition is valid or invalid, you should test each and every condition to remove the errors. Okay. The next principle is testing should begin at the module. So you have to uh, start your testing uh, on individual module, and after that, after the satisfied you are when you are getting the satisfied results from unit testing or module testing, you should uh, proceed further for system testing. Okay. The next one is testing must be done by an independent party to avoid the biasness. To avoid the biasness, you should uh, testing must be done by the individual or independent uh, person. Assign best person to the task, because due to the because testing is the important another important uh, activity of the SDLC, and it is a very much important activity of software development lifecycle. So you should assign the testing task to your best staff. Otherwise, there may some there may some possibility to possibility of failure. Okay. Assign best staff to the task is the another principle of software testing. Then testing is the process of executing software with the intent of finding errors. So your intention should be very clear that you should uh, execute the process to find the errors, not find the uh, not for the criticism of the software. You should the intention is very clear that testing is meant uh, for the finding errors. The next and last is document test cases and test results properly. Okay, so you should document each test case and each testing result properly, so that the next person uh, will verify can verify each and every module and each and every testing procedure after the testing also. Okay. So these are some uh, testing principles I elaborated. Now come to the last point, that is software testability. So software testability means what? Testability is the ability of software or any program with which it can easily be tested. So when you are making a software in a proper manner, it is it will be, it can be tested. Okay, the better it works, the more efficient is testing process. What you see is what you test. The better it is controlled, the more we can automate or optimize the testing process. So you can, if you can test the software in a very effective manner, you can say that software testability is there. If it works in a proper manner, you can efficiently test it. If you are able to test it efficiently, then you can say that software is testable. Okay, and if you are if the requirement of test cases is very less due to the proper designing of the software, you can say that your software is testable. Okay, so these are some factors, these are some concepts you we have discussed in this lecture. Now this is all from my side, and this is the time for assessment through multiple choice questions. The first question is a careful testing. uh, there are some options: expose the defect in program or helps reduce defect in program. Both are true. It expose the defect in program, and it helps in the reduction of the error in defects in the program. So C is the right answer. Second question is verification focus on phase commitment containment of errors, while validation focus to make final product error free. So it is true or false? It is true, because verification focuses on all phases to reduce the errors. The third question is blank is carried out to identify the statement that are in error. Uh, First option, test cases, debugging, error correction, and all of the above. No, debugging is carried out to identify the statements that are in error. So B is the right answer. Review reports is created in which type of review? Which type of review reports are created? In the formal review process, you can create the review reports. Okay. Next question is state whether true or false. For informal review is done after formal review. Yes, it is false, because informal review is done. Formal review is done after the informal review. The sixth question: which of the following statements is true or false? Test scenario involves the expected results. Test cases introduced includes the method of how the test would be performed, or test scenario define the setup to perform the test is, and test case include the steps to execute. The answer is B. Test case includes the methods of how this test would be performed. Okay. Uh, Next question: the conditions that need to be verified by the tester after the activities performed are called dash. They are called the post condition. Okay. Which term is used to define testing? Evaluating deliverable to find errors, or finding broken codes, or stages of all projects? None of above. The answer is finding broken codes is the uh, term used in define testing. The In the next question, which of the following is not a valid phase of SDLC? Requirement analysis is the phase, deployment phase is there, testing phase is there, but testing closure is not there. So D is the right answer. Which of the following is not a part of STLC, software testing lifecycle? Testing planning, testing requirement gathering, test design or test closer. So B is the testing. Requirement gathering is not the part of uh, STLC. So this is all about today's lecture. We have done a self-assessment process also, and now there are some reference books. Please note down the reference name of reference books, and if you have any query, you can easily find out the answer of your query from these books. And I hope that this lecture provides you the clear cut understanding about the topic that we have chosen for today. And have a good day. Thank you.